Everyone, welcome back. We are here for part 2 of putting together my October journal. So in part 1 we cut all of our pages down and got them set up into the little signatures. I am working in a 5x7 journal this month and I've got 4 signatures. There's quite a lot of pages in here. Each signature has 8 pieces of paper in it. And I'm planning on giving myself a lot of paper because they're small for me. This is a small journal. I'm an A5 or larger girl typically. Because I'm going small for me, I'm giving myself a lot of paper so that I can do multiple spreads if I need to. Because here's hoping October is a beautiful month, that I have a lot that I want to write about. That's the goals, isn't it? So today I think I'm going to do a fabric cover. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. I've had a look at some of my fabrics. I've pulled some of them out and I'm kind of digging some of them. So here in New Zealand, October is spring. And I know that is not the case for most of you. I'm pretty sure 99% of the world, or is it 90? Either 90 or 99. Maybe it's 90% of the world lives in the Northern Hemisphere. Population, 90% of it's in the Northern Hemisphere. So 90% of you are going into autumn/fall, for October. For the last 10% of us, or 1%, I do not remember the statistics, but it's either 10% or 1% live in the Southern Hemisphere. It's way less. It might be 10%. I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up again. But it's way, way, way less. It's spring. And for me, I'm one of those few people. It's springtime. So I want to give it somehow like a combo vibe of being both what I consider traditional October vibes, like Halloween, that sort of thing. But I also want to have a bit of spring there. So what I've pulled out, I'm kind of interested in it. This is a tiny scrap that I've got here, which is a maybe. I'm looking at the colors of traditional Halloween, like orange, and I've mostly actually got orange that I've pulled out here. I haven't really pulled out anything else. I've pulled out a tiny bit of this brown, and then I've got this little bit of starry moon fabric. This one is a pinky, corally pink, but it's got these flowers on it, and I quite like that. I love the idea of this beautiful eyelet fabric. It's brown and orange, but it's really kind of got a florally vibe sort of. I've got some more rusty colors. I've got this bit of orange gingham here. I have somewhere close by. It's not actually right here. I've got this. I've just seen this. This is, stunning. Shiny gold and black. This is actually another box of things that I hadn't looked at. This is something that I've started cutting into, but it's got the flowers and the orange and black, so it's kind of got a bit of something Halloweenish there. I've got this black lace, which I think is beautiful. I'm just noticing this box behind me that I hadn't actually looked at, that has some pretty fabrics in it that are more in those colors. I used this fabric for my journal in June, so I don't know if I'll use that one again. I've got this really funky piece, which I love, and then somewhere I've got some lovely orange goldy kind of velvet, which is around here in, I'm sure I could find it in a quick second if I want to. Yeah, I've spotted it. Sorry, it was underneath a bag. So I've got this beautiful velvet, which I'm just obsessed with always, and I use it quite often. And this is all I've got, but I hope to never run out of it because it's something that I adore. What did I use this for recently? I was working with this for Patreon mail. I was using a little bit on my Patreon mail. That's what it was. I knew I'd seen it recently. So these are some bits that I've got that are maybes. Oh, also this. This, I love this. It's this big, thick, very thick upholstery fabric. Very velvety as well. Oh, it reminds me of my grandma. I don't know. I think she had a cushion made out of this. Or a couch or something. I don't know. But it really reminds me of my grandma. And I love that. Yeah, so I've got a bunch here. A bunch of different bits. I'm just pulling them off to the side. I do not bring my camera on the screen. So I am sorry about that. But I thought we could sort of figure out how we're going to do it and get things sort of lined up a little bit, and then I'll stitch it and then we'll come back and we'll bind it together. So I hope that will work. Like, just look at that beautiful piece of lace. Like, isn't that just so good? And if it doesn't get used on the cover, I might cut a bit off and just add it as like a pocket in my journal or like a flip, because it just is glorious. What I was thinking, I don't know, was kind of making some sort of like patchworky fabric soft cover. I might use some of that upholstery or the velvet on the inside to make it a bit thicker, like something like this. And then, you know, and then like maybe this part. Oh, that looks really nice. And I've got this. This is from lovely Laurelle. It's this beautiful butterfly, and I think that's going to go on the cover. Oh, I actually really love how that looks. What about adding a bit of that maybe on the back? Or a bit of this. Maybe this part underneath instead of this. This one's a lot browner. This one's a lot more like autumn. This one's kind of, it's got this brightness to it with the white in there. So it might be a little bit more like spring. I don't know. So if we lined that up like that, and then we had our beautiful eyelet kind of fabric there, that's quite cute with our butterfly. See, it's giving me, like if this is the cover, sort of like that. So you can kind of get a visualization of what I'm thinking. Isn't that quite cute? It is almost spring Halloween. You know, that's what it's sort of giving me, is a bit of spring Halloween. Maybe on the back we might go with, I think I'd just cut this so it's just for the spine area, and then on the back we might add some of this like floral. We'll see how that looks. I'm just going to fold it so that we're just sort of seeing what it looks like over the spine. And then we've got some of, I'm not sure if I like that because it's very cream and very white, so I'm not sure about that. Maybe some of this cute fabric, because I really do like this as well. That's quite cute on the back. Oh, I like that. It's very 70s to me. And then I might cut a little bit of this trim here and like add it on, because I like that as well. That's cute. I'm not sure. Let's first off, I think what I want to do is I want to cut down a piece of either the velvet or the upholstery fabric. Now let me see if I've got you up the right way. Do I? Which way do you go? I think that was the correct way up. Because I think I want to make the inside part out of that. I'm just going to pull this out. Now, is this going to be too thick? No, I think it's going to be absolutely luxurious, actually. So if this was in like this, I'm thinking of this being like the inside. Like that. And I just need to make sure I've got enough so that we have a good cover over that. And then I'll put the patchworky part over this so that you don't see this backing. But when you open it, it's going to have this beautiful, like, soft, velvety, thick, really thick. I think that's actually gorgeous. What do you guys think? I think that's so gorgeous. And again, it reminds me of my grandma, which is just precious to me because I loved my grandma. And still do. Still do. So I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to make sure I keep enough, a good amount of extra, not too much extra. I think we've gone a little hardcore on the extra. Scoot it over. I want a wee bit of extra though, so that we've got room for like a decent spine and probably a little bit of overhang over the pages, but I don't need much overhang. I'm just going to see, I think about there. That feels like the right amount to me. So I'm just going to line that up the whole way down. Let's just check it one more time. Ooh, now is it just a little bit smally? No, it's actually okay. I just don't want to crush the signatures down here so that there's actually no room for a good spine, because I want to leave a nice amount. We're going to go there. We're going to go there, and I'm going to cut. This is feeling very dangerous. Let's go there. And let's go there. Okay, take them out. We're going to do our best cutting this because I am no seamstress. I am messy and wonky, and I'm okay with that. I quite like the messy wonky look, but I just want to do my best here to keep it kind of straight with absolutely no guides. Just winging it and cutting along here, cutting along there. I think that's probably about as long as I need it, just based off of where I can see the other snip is. Yeah, you guys can tell I'm quite insane with this. I'm just going for it. I think that's the way to be, though, honestly. I think overthinking things makes the whole process, for me anyway, way less fun. If I just jump in and get going. Often I find that the little like mistakes, the little messes, whatever, actually produce the things I love the most about my journals. So there we go. That's going to move off to the side. This is looking like a hot inside cover. This part here I notice is trimmed quite wonky across that edge. I mean, probably all the edges are quite wonky now that I've cut it because, oh, look how huge that is. Why have we done that so huge? I clearly did not think that through, because that is way more excess than is required. I really am happy with the length of it. I think that's a really nice length. The height is ridiculous. I am going to give that edge a trim. That's the edge I didn't cut before, because I just can see that this part goes like on quite a curve there. I'm not sure if you can tell, but there seems to be a decent curve here. So I'm going to just once again line it up sort of where I'm happy with it. I would like to have a bit of overhang. Again, it just helps protect the papers a little bit, but only probably need about that much overhang. So I'm going to move those papers out of the way, and we're going to try and cut this straight, doing the best I can. This might be going on quite a lean because I'm scared I'm going to cut too much, and that's okay because I can always go back cut a bit more off. I'd rather cut off more again the second time than cut too much off and then have to start again. So that's all good. And this is really getting frazzled at the edges. I'm not sure how long this is going to hold up, but how do we feel about that as a cover? How does that feel? I'm actually going to take those out and just see if I line up the bottom corners, how do the top corners align? See? Not great. And are we happier with... Yes, we're going to just keep it like that. I'm going to hold it folded like this, like that, and then I'm going to use this as a bit of a guide to cutting. Look at how professional I am. A real professional. There we go. Remove those. I'm just going to dust this over to the side because it's really frizzy. A lot of bits are falling off everywhere. Okay, so that is our gorgeous inside cover. Oh, I love it. I love it. So this is going to be the outside, and yes, that is quite ugly. That is quite ugly, but we've got some very cute pieces to cover that up with. So this part here I think is going to go around like that. That's very pretty. And then I was thinking of this little piece down here like that. It's got a wee cut there, so I'm going to just cut that bit off when we get to it, but that's going to kind of go underneath something like that, just a little bit of it probably peeking out the bottom. I don't need too much because I prefer this piece. And then I've got my really beautiful eyelet piece that's going to go around like that. Like that. Honestly, that eyelet piece could go the whole way around, almost, or not quite, almost though, almost, but I'm not going to. I'm going to cut it because I would love to save a piece of that for another time. And then what do I want to do? Do I want to do the pretty velvet on the back maybe? Ooh, I like that. I really like the velvet on the back. Okay, so we're getting a good idea of what we're doing here. I am going to cut down this, that way I can use a bit of that. Hopefully I did not prematurely cut that without thinking. No, that will be fine. The eyelet will cover it. I just think I can save this, and this can be a cool tab in my journal or something, because it's going to be all covered over anyway, so I don't need to get too fussy about, you know, I can cut off any excess that's not actually going to be seen. So that is the cover, and this part I want to go, do I want it from here? Maybe. That's got a nice straight line now. And then this part will sit underneath. So this part needs to get glued down first. I'm just going to use glue stick, I think, because that way it will hopefully sort of hold enough that I can get it to my sewing machine. This is actually going to be a lovely thick cover. Like, not hard cover, still very soft, but like very thick as far as a soft cover goes. And I'm going to, like, when I stitch it, I'm going to stitch all the way around the edge and probably some of these, like, bits on, maybe. Or if I do that, is it going to look weird through here? it doesn't matter. I will figure out if I want to do that or not. I might be just using a few enough pieces that are large enough that I might not need to, especially if I glue. Okay, so I'm just going to jump in here and add a bit of glue stick on here, just a bit. This is very wet glue. This is just, it's because it's sitting on my desk, which has the heater going underneath it, and so it's getting very goopy. And I'm going to put it this way around, and I'm just trying to get it to a point that I'm happy with it. So that is getting glued on there. And it will probably get glued. Oh, okay, now I can't see how my cover lines up. That looks good. Now we need a bit of glue up the top here. And this piece is getting glued on up the top. Sorry if my head comes into the frame. I am trying to see what I am doing so that I get this kind of in the spaces I want it. And I'm just going to add a bit of glue stick down there too, just so that it holds on. So glue stick, I do not recommend glue stick if this is the only method that you are sticking your cover together. This is just enough basically to get it to my sewing machine. So from there, if we've got our pretty cover, I'm just folding it back up and folding that under for now. So I want to figure out how this is going on. So that is going to go on. I'm trying to feel where the edges of my cover are because this fabric's overhanging. I might actually give this a little bit of a trim down so that I can kind of get my bearings on where I'm actually working again, because it's hard to tell when I've got all this extra fabric where the bottom of my cover is, you know. I'm going to have just a little, like you can see it just peeking out a little bit, and I'm absolutely okay with that. So let's just trim that off, and then this is a cool bit to add as a something to my journal, like a tab. That's the word I'm looking for, not a something. And then this part can get a little trim. And again, I kind of like these other layers sort of peeking out a wee bit. I think that's quite nice, having little peaks. That stuck itself to my elbow. So now that is our cover. It's looking good. It's looking real good. So that's the cover. And then for the spine, I want this piece. And I'm going to go with it like that, because that feels like it's already the exact right height. I don't need to cut it down. I'm actually going to go that side because this side's got a weird straight cut. This one doesn't. And I quite like that it's got this like jaggedy cut. I've got scissors that will do that, but I just don't know. We're going to cut it at about, where do I want to cut it? I like it coming around a wee bit here. I might do a little bit more. So let's pull it around, get it lined up. This is quite tricky, guys. This is a real challenge. Hope that you guys can see that and appreciate this. Trying to do this on camera can be harder than just doing it yourself. And I want to have a good overhang of that because I think it's so cute, and it does give me that like orange springtime kind of look that I'm really liking. And then our cute butterfly. Look how cute that's going to look. I actually want it to be maybe actually a little less. I want a bit more of this happening. So I just want like a little edge of that. So I'm going to just add like a little bit of glue into this sort of white area. I obviously don't need to add it into the holes. And then I'm going to just carefully stick that on. I'm actually not being careful because I haven't got this folded correctly at all. So I don't even know what I'm doing. Get off. Okay. I think, oh, it's actually a little bit much. I want to pull it back to about there. I like having a good amount of this orange showing. So that's just going to have a little bit of that white on this side. I keep doing this. Am I doing this correctly? Not at all. So many layers of fabric that it is hard to work with. Okay, trying this entirely again. Fold it in half. How you actually want this, Lydia. In half. There we go. Good job. Nope, you failed again. There we go. And now we just want a very little bit of it rolled around the front. Just a bit, and it's not going to stick down with the glue. The glue doesn't like this. That's okay. All right, so from there, and look, it's not even lined up anymore. How does this keep happening? I don't know. Okay, over the back, we're going to cut it off at this point. I'm just making an arbitrary decision without thinking at all. It's getting cut there. That's getting saved. And then we're going to have the pretty, beautiful, orange, gold, beautiful. Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm going to put that piece in the back. That's going to get glued down before this gets glued down. And I can see that this part here is all getting covered over. So I'm going to just remove some of this extra fabric because I don't need it in there. It can be gone, less bulk. And that will go around. And then, yeah, this pretty orange will get stuck down. So let's see if we can cut out a piece. This orange is a challenge to work with because it's all cut at different, like it's not going with the grains or whatever you have in fabric. It's all kind of all over the shop and it's quite hard to sort of figure out. It's very crease and I love that. I love the crinkly look of it. It's just, it brings all this like rich orangier oranges and then these yellow highlights and I just think it's beautiful. And I think it will look really great because this butterfly kind of matches it, but that will be on the back. I don't know. I think it's going to look really, really cute though. Okay. So if I want to put a piece of this on the back, I'm trying to see if I can figure out the lines on here and which way things go. I don't care too much, but I'm just worried that there's a right way to do this and a wrong way and that I'm going to do it the wrong way. Which I'm probably going to do no matter what, but you guys are getting the gist. I think I might, no, can I cut this on camera? I want to do this on camera so that you guys can kind of see my process here, but my process is a nightmare, so you probably don't want to see the process. I'm thinking I just love this piece. I'm not going to use this beautiful edge yet, not for this journal. I'm going to use a bit over in this janky area. I'm going to just cut where there are already lines or like already cuts into things. This is more than I need. If I cut this here, this is more than I need, but it's less to kind of manhandle, if you know what I mean. All right, so that's the front, that's the back. Line her up. So what I want is a piece that's going to cover this. So I'm going to try and glue that down, and we're going to cut this again, this big section off because I don't need it. It's just more fabric that's making it harder to work with. Let's put some glue on here. I want this to go underneath that eyelet fabric. I think the eyelet fabric can sit on the top of the velvet. Put a good bit of glue because this velvet's quite thick, although I do find that glue really seeps into it, but I don't know if I've used glue stick. I might have just used wet glue with this before. So we're going to just put it there like that and then try and stretch it out a certain amount, just a bit, so that it's not too wrinkly. And then that is going to wrap around like that, and that's going to be freaking gorgeous. Freaking gorgeous. What do you guys think? I am such an orange person. I know orange is not everybody's color. I love orange, even not in October. Orange is a big love color of mine. So there we go. I'm going to just go ahead and trim off this excess, and I feel so wasteful with all of the like edges. I wish I'd kind of lined it up against one edge a little bit more, but it's a-okay. We're doing this. We've got it glued now and it's fine. I still have more, and I'm sure that you can buy orange velvet places. I don't know. I got this secondhand from someone who used to be a costume designer, I think. And she was selling a bunch of these scraps. I got this color, another different orange, and a blue, and some other pretty fabrics that she had that weren't velvet as well. And I just fell in love with them, and I've been using them kind of on and off throughout my projects. Oh, I just love these velvets. I need to get some more, maybe. I don't know how expensive they are if you're not getting them secondhand from cut-offs. Like it was her cutting that made it all janky like it was. But that's what it's going to look like. And wherever I put that butterfly, what have I done with it? Oh, Oh, I don't know. I've got this one's actually a bit more orange. I think the other one was a slightly more yellow. This is a different one, I think. I got a few of them. Lovely Laurelle sent them to me, and I am obsessed with them. I think they're stunning. Now I don't know what I've done with the butterfly. Did I put it up? Ah, I did. Is it a different color? It is. So I've got to decide if I want to go yellow or orange. So I've got options there, or both. Ooh, that's quite cute too. I think I've got some more sizes of them as well. A smaller one. Let's see, what size are you? What color are you? So I could do like, that's cute, or no, I like the small one up above more if I'm going to do that, or the small and the larger orange. I don't know. We've got some options there as far as, I think I'll probably just do one, and I think it's going to be the yellow maybe. I'm not sure though. I'm going to go now, and I'm going to sew this cover up, and then maybe we'll come back and we'll glue on a butterfly, whatever one we decide on together. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, I'm going to sew this, and then I'll be right back. I'm back, and it's all sewn, and I love it. I love it. It's very, you know, janky, wobbly. There's a lot of bulk that seems to be happening in the spine area, but I think it'll be okay. Like, it doesn't want to sit like flat. I think I've done something weird in the way I'm sewing. Can you see that? Like, it keeps wanting to bunch up like this. I think it's because I've done a row of stitch. I've just stitched down here, and I think I've sewn it weird. It's nice when it's flat, but when it's folded, it's less nice. But I think that when I get my signatures and I pop them in there and bind it in there, that's not even going to be a problem, because it's not trying to sit flat anymore. It's trying to sit, you know, like this, up around these lovely paper clusters. I am having a real great trouble getting this keeps happening every time I fold this. I don't understand. Let's put this right, let's get these and put them right up here, right up, come on. And now it's like too big at the top. I don't know, we're gonna figure it out. There is a bit of a, I'm not sure, it is a bit funny in that spine, but I'm gonna just roll with whatever sort of spine I've got. But it always wants to do this, and I'm unsure why. It seems like it's more comfortable folding here, and so it keeps pushing me out. I don't know. But we're going to go like that-ish. That's going to be roughly where we put our beautiful papers. I'm just trying to get them lined up in there, how I like them. So that's going to be it. And now we've got to decide if, see, it's sitting weird. Like, why is it sitting like that? I don't know. Maybe I should unpick, because I sewed right around the edge, and then I just zapped down, and I wonder if I should unzap on one or two, on these two bits. I don't know. I kind of liked it. It just looked a bit funny being loose, because this part was just all loose through the middle here, but it probably wouldn't have been once I'd bound my signatures in anyway. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to go ahead and like try and unpick this or not. It feels like a lot of hassle. It feels like more hassle than I would like to deal with, but I'm also wondering if it's going to be really annoying later. Don't know. If it always wants to sit like this. Do you see that? It's like wants to sit with this big bubble here, and that is annoying. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to go unpick it, and then I'll be back. Okay, I have just unpicked. Let me see, I'm filming. Yes, I am. I've just unpicked just the back one, and that made a huge difference. Honestly, that loosened it all up, and I don't even need to unpick the front, I don't think. Everything's just feeling a bit looser, a bit easier to fold again. So I think that is probably going to be enough to handle the jandal. So yeah, that already just feels so much better. Okay, that was what it needed. It needed that being unpicked. So that's unpicked. It's a bit loose, but I think once we get the signatures bound in, that's going to kind of sew it a little bit. And I can put a little glue under there if I want to. I don't know. I'll just see how I go. I could do that, or I could maybe run, probably thinner than this, but like I could glue like a bit of lace onto the edge. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of fabric could get glued on to like hold it down. We'll see what we do. But for now, I'm really happy with this. I'm thinking the yellow. What do you guys, oh, it's hard. Maybe I'm thinking the orange. This is such a challenge. I really like both options quite a bit, so I really can't go wrong. Do I want to put like a bit of the lace down? No, it kind of hides all the black on the butterfly. The yellow, I think, pops against the orange more. Like it's more noticeable and it reflects the yellow that is in the back. See it, like it brings that yellow color across really nicely. The orange sort of merges in a little bit more. So in some ways I like that, some ways I like that. There's differences and I like both. What a challenge to know. I think I'm going to put the yellow on. I'm just going to I think there's no wrong answer here, right? I don't think there's a wrong answer here. So I need to get my fabric glue, which I am unsure where that is because I've been shifting everything around that sits on my desk and now I don't know where everything is. I think I put it over. I thought I put it over with my other glues, but it doesn't seem to be there. So I'm not sure where the fabric glue is. I think I'm going to just get the journal bound and then maybe we will go back and we'll do that. So many bits of threads everywhere now. Let's trim that off. Okay, so now I've got to choose what thread I want to use to bind this little beauty together. This one's instantly jumping out at me. I don't know if I've got enough to do 4 signatures, but it's this gorgeous like olivey citrusy green, which I'm super into. This is very unexpected and nope, I don't like it. We could go with classic black and white baker's twine. Unsure, it just feels a bit harsh on the like brown tones that we've got going. This is a nice like browny color that could work. I've got orange and white. Oh, I kind of like that. And I've got a different orange and white too. These are more colored baker's twines. So this really is very similar to the colors on that gingham, which I quite like. This has got that same color that's in the eyelet. So either of those I actually really like. There's this really bright orange. I don't think I'm going to go with that. I really think I'm going to go with one of these 2 baker's twines actually. So let's see if we can narrow it down. That is in a whole heap of trouble. So we snip it and just pretend that that didn't happen. Okay, so one of these 2 I think is going to be our binding. Now I've got to decide. And this is, I think, the whole butterfly situation again. Do I go with the orange or do I go with the yellow orange? And if I go with the yellow orange, then I think I go with the yellow butterfly. And if I go with the orange, I still don't know. I still don't know. I actually think I'm going to go with the orange binding and maybe the yellow orange butterfly. Oh, I don't know. Maybe the orange butterfly. Oh, we are confused. Let's take our time and really think that over. It doesn't really matter either way, but I do really like that actually. I think I'm going to go with the orange at this stage. 1, 2, 3. That's as long as you need for binding a book. You need 3 times the length of your journal, the height or whatever you want to say. Grab out a needle here and let's bind this. I'm going to start this binding process on camera and I may get hideously bored of it and want to put on a show while I'm binding because there's 4 signatures, so it's a lot of work. And it's going to be a bit of a challenge as well to get these to be where I want them to be. I find 4 also kind of a difficult number because there's not like a middle signature, you know, to like start with. So we might start with, okay, if we're going to put that there. All right, so see how they're sitting like that? Oh, it's so hard to do this. I think I'm going to try and let's bind 1 signature together and then I might go off camera and oh, this was actually the front. So let's flip that over because now I think everything's probably upside down if I had that wrong. Just particularly caring about, I think it was in the last 2, that little pocket. I want that to be up the right way. So now we've got that up the right way. And we wanted to have our pumpkin faces, although they're not really a right way. Also those scrapbooking paper pieces. We want our skeletons up the correct way. That's important to me. Same with my ghosts. Same with, well, that's not up a way. That doesn't have a way to go up. But okay, now we've got them up the correct way. Good thing we noticed that early on because that would have been sad halfway through binding to be like, and my journal's upside down. I would have been very sad. Okay, let's just dive in. We're going to dive in. We're going to make our first hole. And we're going to go roughly, I'm just eyeballing where middle is here. I like to go a little bit higher than middle. If in doubt, go a little tiny bit higher. I'd prefer that than lower. So we're going in, and if we want these four to be about like that, then that needs to go in. That needs to push back there. Wriggle my fingers in. So if that's going to sit like this, I think it's going in about there-ish. This is a wild decision of like, let's just go for it, you know? We're just going to go for it and really just hope that it works out okay. We're going for it. We're going for it. I think I've actually gone into, no, I'm retreating, and I'm going in a little bit further over. I think about there. Just a little bit back. I just felt like we were maybe just a touch too close to the front. I think that's going to be a little better. Okay. Yikes. It's a scary one, and I'm not measuring. You can see I'm a wild woman who doesn't think, who just acts, who sometimes just acts without any thought. That's okay. Okay, we're going to go about there. I'm just trying to like line this up and look like, is this straight? It's close enough. I'm looking at the eyelet on here. So if this is about at the top of that, then I want to keep that about the top of that too. So that's how I'm making my guess. And it's all going to be fine. You can't really do it wrong. I mean, you can do it wrong if it's not how you want it, but you can't do it wrong in the sense of it's a junk journal. Okay, I'm off camera. I can be sure of that. Okay, right. So now I'm just sort of lining my hole up with where I've put the hole in the paper, and then where I've got my hole coming through my cover, I'm sort of lining that up on there and just making a little tear so that I can figure that placement out, and going to line my papers up and push back through and hope that we're in the middle, and we are. Good. Came through on the spine, like the fold of my papers. So that's exactly where I wanted to be. So this is turning out beautifully. Okay, so now I'm looking at how far of the cover did I come up, and that's about how far I want to go down. So roughly there. I find it actually much easier once I've got the first one in, because I can line my holes up with my subsequent signatures with my initial ones, and I find that makes it a little bit easier to do. When I'm just guessing at this point, I find it the most difficult. So now I'm lining that all up again, and we're going in about there. About there. And I'm checking, am I about right? No, I want to come down a little bit to line up a little bit more with my pattern on the eyelet lace. I want it about a little higher. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing. I am just making this up as I go. Okay, that's about right. I just wanted it to be, again, on the eyelet lace. You can see where I began. This is eyelet lace? I don't know, eyelet fabric. It kind of it just was hitting the top of this little section of the pattern. So I wanted it to line up with that section of the pattern on that side too. And then we're going back down through here. This is not a tutorial. It is clear because I am making this up, and it's probably going to look wonky as heck, and that's fine. So that's going in through there like that. I love this fabric in here. Oh, that feels so nice. Just going to pull that out a little bit so we've got, I can tell which one's my actual thread, and then back through our original holes to the middle. Look, that came out right in the middle. That's perfect. Just checking that I haven't caught my strings, and I have a little bit, so let's uncatch them. All right, that should be pretty good. That signature one in, I can feel that feels pretty nice and lined up. Right, I'm going to just tie it off. Whatever length strings I've got is what I'm going with. I'll trim them down to be even right at the end. Double knot, and that's that signature one in. How flippin' exciting. Okay, I am going to put on some YouTube or something. I think I've done that a little tight. I'm going to untie that and just loosen her off a little bit. Because I think I've pulled that just a touch tight on my cover. But then I am going to jump away for a wee minute. I'm probably going to get my lunch because I'm feeling hungry, and I'm guessing it's nearly lunchtime based off of how hungry I am. Could be wrong. Let's see. 12:30. Wow, yeah, it's definitely lunchtime. Lunch for me is typically around 12 o'clock. So that's not really a surprise that I'm feeling hungry if it's 12:30 already. Today is like a grey day outside, so I'm finding it hard to tell what time of day it is. Normally by now the sun would be pouring in this window and I wouldn't be able to film. Okay, that is hopefully a little bit looser. It's not much, but it's fine. Right, I'm going to watch some YouTube or some Netflix and eat some lunch and then bind the rest of it. And then at the end, I will come back and we'll do a little flip through of how it's finished up. I'm back. Okay, book is bound and I am freaking loving it. Let's take a look at it together, shall we? I found my glue that I needed as well, so we'll glue the butterfly on at the end. But here is my beautiful little journal. I need to cut these strings because they are a bit long, so let's just give them a little haircut. Absolutely in love with it, and it ended up being like, we do have a bit more, you can see, of the back cover is a little bit more sticking out, but I'm actually fine with that. I don't care. It means that I can see it. Like, if you pull it right over, it looks a bit ridiculous, but mostly it kind of sits like that and it's not too bad. It's super wonky and scrappy and I'm totally in love with it. I probably should have started my binding my signatures just like a little touch further around this way, but I didn't know how far I needed it to be and it was so tricky. So it's there and it's okay. You can see a little bit of the back cover. I don't mind. Let's have a look though. Here we go. So here is our beautiful soft inside lining and our gorgeous, gorgeous pages for October. And it is very October-y, traditional, like Northern Hemisphere October looking, in my opinion, with the oranges and the golds and the browns and the things like that. But I certainly think that adding in my own bits of ephemera and things, I need to do something here because I cannot open that envelope. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of carefully try and snip that up there. Now it's actually like a usable little pocket. So should have probably done that before we bound it together, but that's okay. It's now a usable wee space. But look, see, like this looks like spring with flower, you know, like you can add things that make it a bit more your own season. If you are not a Northern Hemisphere journaler, you can make your own little Halloween themed kind of journal. And let's see if that one can just get pulled out like that. And we might just kind of snip that in like that. Just like that, I think. Now it's, again, a usable little pocket there. Perfect. So, yeah, I'm very excited to use this. This kind of looks like the sun a little bit. I think it's like a microscope, who knows what, but does it say here? Something from the sea? I don't know, but it's very beautiful. Yeah, so we've got these really great pages. I am super looking forward to doing this. This is something I always do to myself. I'm loving my current journal, and now I've got this journal. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'd quite like to be working in that journal. Here's that little pocket, that little mini pocket. It's going to be a tricky one because it's only bound in one spot, so it can do that, which can get a little bit tricky. But if you go ahead, and I will maybe at some point add something, like if we got a bit of fabric or something and kind of glued it across the two pages, or a bit of tape or paper or something, that's gonna, you know, hold it right in the correct placement. But I'll do that when I get to it. But that's that little pocket there that you might remember. See, look, the sun's coming through now, so we're just on time to be kind of finishing up this video. Here's our little pocket. We're in the last signature. That means, look at that gorgeous, like big, that's a very big pocket. I didn't realize how huge that pocket can be. But we can tuck something really pretty in there, that, because, you know, this is just a piece of paper, it's just an example, but because it's sort of see-through, you'll be able to kind of see whatever bits get tucked in there, which is quite fun. Again, that Halloween paper, bag, and our little journal envelope pockets that you can tuck a little something in there that will then show through in the window. And that is the beautiful, beautiful journal. I may still come back and glue something down on here like this to kind of hold that piece down. I don't know, but definitely unpicking it was the right move because it has made everything kind of sit nicer than it did before. And I think I'm going to go with my orange butterfly. I think that looks really cute, and I think that it gives me spring October vibes. I hope that you agree that this has got, it's got those Halloween, I know this is probably supposed to be ironed on, but I can't be bothered finding where my iron is. So we're just going to add some fabric glue on the back here, and that is going to do the trick, I hope. So now I've got to just, sorry if my head gets in the way, I just kind of want to position this in a way that I'm happy with. I want it about there. There we go, and I'll just give that a little hold while I am chatting to you guys so that we can kind of get it to firmly glue in place. But how freaking cute. I think this is such a cute spring / Halloween vibe for me. I really like it, and I'm really excited for October to get here so that I can start playing in this journal. That is going to be so much fun. I'm just going to leave that for a bit. I think it should stick down pretty nicely. This glue does dry quite quickly, but I don't want to, you know, mess around with it too much or else it might peel up. But let me just have a look. Yeah, I like how that looks. That looks really cute on there. Super happy. And then I've got all of these like fabric scraps, which might end up being like flips or tabs on the sides of the pages that I can staple on or whatever. I am so happy with this. Oh, I can't wait to play. I hope you enjoyed this video, my friends, and I will catch you guys back here for another video very soon. Bye, friends.